And we are back. We are back with our final series here of the night, our final best of 3 of the group stage. And shout out to Cynical in the chat, Cynical Death. He is, of course, a Liquipedia father, admin, papi, if you will. Cynical, he is a big part of the StarCraft community. And without Cynical, we would be worse off for it. He's a big editor over on Liquipedia, and just letting us know as well that, again, there was a lot riding on that last series. There was a lot riding on Dark versus Ryung, and because Ryung went down, that means that Lambo, I believe, is secure in his victory here. Whether he wins or loses, Cyan cannot make it out of this group, and Lambo does make it out in 3rd place. Oh boy. So yeah, there's a little bit less kind of pressure and less riding on this series, but a series nonetheless, a series that I'm sure Cyan wants to take in his favor to redeem himself, to get his first victory on the board here. Again, there's a little bit less weight behind it, but I'm sure he's going to be playing his heart out nonetheless. And here we go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 1 of our final series, our final best 3, our final ZvP, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have the Chinese Protoss player representing the Starving Camels, representing SSLD. It is back. We apologize. It looks like OBS did just crash for a moment, but we haven't missed anything, and the internet was fine. The connection was fine. It was just OBS struggling for a moment there, but we didn't really miss anything. Of course, we were just getting into discussing the group itself, talking about how this was a round robin group, and if you do have a look at the bracket yourselves over on Wikipedia, you can see the standings and all the matches that were casted on this channel. Lambo had a rough start. Lambo went down to Cure, he went down to Dark as well, but was able to overcome and surpass the other players in the group. And we mentioned earlier that because Ryung went down to Dark, it does mean that regardless of how this series goes, Lambo will be coming out on top. Lambo will be making it out of the group. Oh boy. So yeah, we'll see how this does turn out. For the time being, Stargate opener coming out from Cyan. Everything's looking pretty normal, pretty standard. Likewise, we do see Lambo going for a hatch gas pool, was forced to take the unnatural natural, but nothing too crazy, nothing too out of the norm. Speaking of being crazy, that is a Void Ray. We have a Void Ray first from Cyan, looking to deny the vision, deny the scouting. We have seen Cyan go for a Twilight Council into Glaive Adepts afterwards, but we'll see if he does go for that here. As the Void Ray does arrive, is going to be shutting down the Overlord. The Overlord at least scouts the follow-up units. It does confirm that we have an Oracle on the way, so Lambo is going to be able to prepare back at home with his Queens, with his Spore Crawlers. Queens are already in position. We're about to have a 3rd Queen here in the main. Likewise, a 3rd Queen on the way at the 3rd base location as well. And Lambo has plenty of time to prepare. Likewise, as Cyan attempts to take his 3rd base, Lings do try to stop him, but they only try, they don't succeed. Cyan able to get this base up and running without too much issue. And there's that Twilight Council follow-up and a Forge, so it's not going to be Glaive, should be either Blink or Charge. Should be going to a standard follow-up from here. So again, pretty normal play coming out from Cyan, despite how aggressive he was and how tenacious he was against DRG earlier. Everything's looking a little bit more standard this time, as it should. Likewise, Lambo is just getting his 3 bases up and running. We have a Roach Warren on the way. Interesting choice, actually. Let's go. So Lambo is going to be delaying his Evo chamber here. He's not going for +1 melee. Does have quite a large queen count. He's taking his gases, and I believe Lambo is setting up a very potent, a very powerful Roach push here off of a 3 base economy. I'm picturing around 66 workers here from Lambo, not too many more than that. And this is not a bad map here for these big Roach pushes. Back at home, Cyan is trying to get ready himself, is going to be going for charge, not blink. At the main, there is that gateway explosion. So yeah, charge out Archon is going to be the composition of choice for Cyan. Meanwhile, Lambo, how much further is he going to go from here? We do now have +1 melee on the way. This is delayed, I will say that. I'm curious to see, yeah, if Lambo takes additional gases or if he's just going to be staying on 4 gases for the time being. Okay, Lambo, he's, yeah, just going to be droning up more. He's making lanes just for presence on the map. We have a 4th base on the way. We don't really have too much of a prioritization of the creep, and with this Bailey Nest on the horizon as well, it looks like Lambo is going for a longer game. He's making enough to defend against the push, of course, but he's thinking further ahead. Meanwhile, Cyan is about to arrive. Again, charge is done. Bailings aren't done quite yet. Where are the roaches, by the way? I assumed that we would be making some, but alas, no roaches are available. Lings and queens are all we have. Here we go. Cyan is hitting a pretty awkward timing. He's also getting surrounded, but again, against Lings, they don't fare too badly. Lings are falling left and right. Cyan, he busts into the mineral line. Drones are falling. The roaches from Lambo are just a little bit too late. The queens are going down left and right, and Cyan is breaking Lambo here and now. He is doing it again. A really awkward timing. I was surprised to see Lambo not make any roaches earlier, and I mean, that's going to kill him. GG gets called. Cyan takes game number 1. The starving camel. Not starving anymore. Does get a piece of Lambo in the end. And yeah, really, really awkward timing there from Cyan going for the gateway explosion after the 3rd. I was assuming he was setting up for charge lot Archon, but no, there was no Templar Archive. So just straight up charge lots. A really awkward timing. And Lambo was caught with his pants down. Despite having that Roach Warren for quite some time, he was only relying on Lings to defend and nothing else. Lings and a handful of queens. And he does fall here before he can really get going. Oh, GG. And again, this is also why it's a bit of a shame. It is a bit of a shame that like Cyan doesn't have a chance of making it out of the group. Like, he's a really good player, as we can see, can go toe-to-toe with players of the caliber of Lambo, but it was a much harder group than that, you know, like Cure, Dark, really big names in Group D make it really difficult to really shine and really stand out. So we'll see if Cyan can redeem himself here at the end of the night. Again, already having a strong start. Can he get the 2-0? Can he get the 2-0? I want to believe. I want to believe. As we are getting ready here for our next game. The beeps are upon us, and it's going to be taking place here on Royal Blood. It's getting a little bit late in Europe. You can see the darkness encroaching around Lambo, but does the darkness give him power? That's the question. Does he thrive in the darkness? Or does he rely on the light? And he's dark. It's all about the dark. It's all about the smudge. Here we go. We're loading on into potentially the final game of the series, as spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the Chinese Protoss player representing the Starving Camels SSLD. It is Cyan. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Zurich player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo. Here we go. Again, Lambo just being caught completely off guard, not keeping enough of an eye on what his opponent was up to. But at the same time, Dragon Scales is a small map, very short rush distance by ground. So if you are just not looking for one moment, then you can very quickly be caught off guard. So Cyan taking advantage of that. Here on a larger map like Royal Blood, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to pull that off. So I expect Cyan to kind of go and tech in a different direction. And yes, as we mentioned earlier, we did mention earlier, of course, that there is a little bit less riding on this series. We do already know that Ryung, because he lost to Dark, will not make it through, and that means that Lambo will make it through in this group. But that doesn't mean that the players aren't fighting their hearts out. And again, Cyan already having a really strong start to this series. We'll see if he can get that 2-0. For now, Hatch Gas full opener here from Lambo. Pretty standard stuff. Nothing too crazy. Likewise, Cyan going for a gate expand. I expect to see another Stargate opener. It's the follow-up that we really have to keep our eyes on. As interesting. Cyan is even making the Zealot first? Question mark. Very interesting here. Yeah, really safe play out of Cyan. Does go for a pylon block across the map. Is going to be delaying the third base for a moment here. The Zealot is going to be staying back at home, just walling off. I wonder what it is that. That Cyan saw. Typically, there's no reason to rush out a Zealot like this, especially considering that he scouted a hatch first. It was a hatch gas pull. It was a standard opener from Lambo. He didn't race his way into Lings or Queens. So, yeah, Cyan playing this very safely. And here we go. The Stalker has arrived. Is going to be shooing away that Overlord. Is it going to be, just keeping Lambo in the dark for the time being? Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it may just come down to the head-to-head. Some tournaments, they have more priority on head-to-head than map score. Sometimes it goes like series score, then head-to-head, then map score. Sometimes the other way around. So it depends on the map. As oh my god, okay, we're going Void Ray first, and we're going into a very fast Forge. Going for the Forge into the Robo. This could go into a couple of different directions here. I'm really curious. This is looking very similar to Showtime's play style, where you go for a fast +1 and you start Immortal production and you delay your Twilight Council by quite a bit. But in the hands of Cyan, I'm not so sure. In the hands of Cyan, we'll see. Okay, there we go. There's the Twilight Council on the way. So we will be delaying Blink by quite a bit and Charge by quite a bit. Very tech-heavy style here. Very greedy. And typically a very defensive way to play. I'm not too sure if I'm fond of this variation, though. So, for those wondering, when Showtime and Creator, when they do this, they prioritize Oracles just so they can have a presence on the map. Lambo's going straight into Lair Tech, by the way. But Cyan, he hasn't seen anything. Like, he probe scouted earlier, and he's moving out with his Void Ray, but without Oracles, he can't really punish the economy, and he can't really keep tabs on what Lambo is even doing. There we go. Immortals are on the way. Charge as well. Lambo just taking all of his gases, just now getting his Evo Chamber. Again, Lair already in production. If Lambo is able to recognize how greedy his opponent is being right now, then he can try to surpass that and overcome that and say go for a fast Spire and go Mass Muta. That is a good way to punish this. There is that Templar Archives for Archons. So again, Cyan is just going to be building up. He's going to be saturating his third and building up a death ball of Archons, Immortals, Chargelots. At a hefty army. Back at home, back at home, Lambo. He is making a wave of roaches initially. There we go. Speed is on the way, +1 range. Lambo should be working on his 4th hatchery soon. And yeah, okay, there we go. I was like, if he doesn't take a 4th base, then he may be looking for his own push. But the 4th is now on the horizon for Lambo. And there it is. There is that Spire. We were talking about it earlier. I do think that a Spire is a really good way to punish this. But this Spire is delayed. It is quite a bit delayed here for Lambo. He didn't rush into it. He prioritized roach production here just to be safe. So the mutas are going to take quite some time to come out. Meanwhile, here comes the push. We have Chargelots on the left-hand side. We have an Immortal army on the right. Now, I do think that Cyan just intends to pressure, but +2 is on the horizon, and like because that I assume that we are going to be expanding and taking a 4th. We'll see what Cyan can get done. As Lambo hasn't been cutting army. He has so many roaches, ravagers, lings. He should be more prepared for this. Here we go. Already these first wave of Zealots are going to get surrounded. They're going to get completely shut down. At the same time, we can see Cyan trying to push in from the right-hand side. He runs into the main army. Here on the left. Oh, these Zealots, they're going to get a cancel on the 4th. Very nice pickup. Now the Prism can threaten a drop into the main. But Lambo's pushing out with his army. He's catching the main forces here of Cyan. He's being caught out. Oh, he's being zoned away. Forced to recall. What's he going to lose? Up. Oh, does lose one of his sentries. Big pickup for Lambo. Zealots do make their way into the main, but I don't really see them doing too much. Yeah, the Queen's going to keep each other alive. And Lambo has maxed. He's even got a couple of mutas in production. And even though Cyan, he's getting a pretty intense army, pretty impressive army. Doesn't have Blink, doesn't have Phoenixes. These mutas, they're going to get into the mineral line and they're going to get a lot of damage done. They're going to look to cripple the economy here of Cyan. He's even being pulled apart. We have roaches pushing into the natural. Keeping his attention busy. And mutas slip into the main. And here we go. The mutas, they reveal themselves. There's nothing that shoots up. At the same time, we can see Lambert trying to also break the 3rd base, but he's up against Immortals, so the Roach army is going to crumble. The mutas, though, they're getting a bit out of control. 13 probes will go down. Again, Blink isn't done. These Stalkers are having a hard time keeping up. A bit of an A move here from Lambo is going to be losing quite a lot of those mutas. But he got 19 probes. Like, that's still worth it for Lambo. He has done more than enough damage. And Cyan, what does he do from here? He could either force himself all in and push out, or he can try and rebuild. But rebuilding is going to be a difficult thing to do. He lost 19 probes. And if he stays at home and probes up, that means Lambo can get away with all these bases. He's double expanding, getting his 4th, getting his 5th base. Is going to be a difficult thing here for Lambo. I mean, sorry, for Cyan. Like, Lambo, he's just really securing himself. He's maxed out at this point on 69 drones. Nice. Love to see it. He has plenty of mutas to counterattack as well. And Cyan, he's just trying to build up a death ball. Now, it is a death ball, to be fair. Oh, that's we even bow down that observer. But like, if these Novas connect, maybe Cyan can take a fight, potentially. Oh, but here we go. Stalkers are being caught out. The Lingbane has been revealed. Cyan out of position. At the same time, the mutas also dive into the main base. There's no shield, but the cannon is going to go down. And once again, economic damage is being done. Oh god, no! As the probes almost make their way to the mineral line. And yeah, at this point, Cyan, he's just falling apart at the seams. The main army, yeah, we do see that essentially Cyan is going to be forced all in. He does have a pretty impressive army, but it's only 3 disruptors. Like, he has to make sure every Nova counts. First one only zones the army. We have 2 more in the chamber. Again, can he take a fight? I do think he can, but Lambo is setting up first round. Decent connection. No sentries, no force fields are available. God, as another Nova's going to be going up, but again, it only connects with the Queen. It was premature. And Lambo is setting up for that surround. And here we go. He's looking to collapse on this army, and I just don't think there is enough. A Nova's going to zone away the right-hand side. Oh! Big connection. Big connection on the Banelings. The Immortals are standing strong. Cyan is taking this fight. Oh my god. And is he doing it? The Immortals are barely surviving. Look how low the Immortals are. They're oh my god, they're red. The Immortals and Disruptors are deep in the red, but they are still alive. If he keeps them alive, if he gets another Nova up, he can do this. He can break Lambo. More Roaches are in production. There are no Banelings left, by the way. Only Roach Ravager. Cyan needs to keep pushing. The longer he waits, the worse it's going to be. As Lambo is rebuilding, remaxing, making more Lings, rebuilding those Banelings. Mutas are still across the map doing what they can. That was a very impressive fight from Cyan, but Lambo, he's almost remaxed at this point. Again, we were talking about it. Just time is working against Cyan. More workers are going down. Can he take another good fight? I do think he can. Oh! Investor goes down. Big Nova on 2 of those Ravagers. But we only have 2 Disruptors left. And yeah, both Novas are on cooldown. Yeah, the Ling Roach Ravager is collapsing on this army. Lambo, he knows he can take a fight. He takes down another Disruptor. Good juggling coming in from Cyan. He does have a more efficient army, but yeah, Lambo is just making more Lings, more Roaches. He keeps his base alive. He's going for a big Ling counterattack. Make sure that there is no 4th base. Up! Oh my god, this time 3 Ravagers go down. We blink on top of the army. Cyan, he does have a bit of momentum. Almost takes those blasts to the face. He's still trying to punch up. The Biles! Oof. They don't quite connect. The boys are being pulled. The Lings come in first round. The final Disruptor will fall. We need that Prism. We need to protect the Immortals. The Immortals are going down. That was the backbone of this army. Every Immortal falls. The Prism as well. And Lambo has done it. Again, if the Prism was still in play, if we could juggle those Immortals, then things would have been a little bit different. But alas, it looks like Cyan, his attention was elsewhere. He only has Stalkers left, and that is not... I can't imagine that's going to be enough. He does snipe a base, to be fair. He did kill 15 workers, but they're going back to mining. They are going back to mining. We have 2 Disruptors on the way. Yo, Cyan's still in this. He is not giving up. 2 Disruptors, they can make the difference here. A Prism would be nice as well, but beggars can't be choosers, and we're begging for everything right now. Cyan here, so close to breaking Lambo. Cyan technically on a better economy as well. He does have a higher worker count. God, that is a lot of Ravagers though. But that's also why it's going to come down to these Disruptors. Oh. Yeah, Ling run by isn't going to do too much. Stalkers are moving out, looking to deny any bases. Little does Cyan know that there are just no bases to deny. He's got +3. +3, putting in a lot of work. And again, Cyan can take a fight. There are a lot of Ravagers which are going to slow him down, though. Again, it's going to come down to these Disruptors. We need some big connections on those Ravagers. That is all we need. It's a lot to ask for, though. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. First Nova zones away the army. We have one Nova left. Lings coming from behind. They catch some of these reinforcements. Good control out of Cyan, protecting those Archons. Lambo getting another hatchery here in the center of the map. Still has a very large Ravager count. Imagine if we made one Void Ray. They're queens, to be fair, but like any Skytoss units would actually do really well here against Lambo, who's stuck with Ravagers and Lings. Here we go, fourth base is on the way. Stalkers are moving out. They have to be very careful. There are a lot of Lings looking for a surround. Cyan is dancing with death. Let's be careful not to fly too close to the sun. I could be taking down some of these tumors. Back at home, he keeps his Archons and Disruptors waiting, hoping for a run by. And the game is settling down. Lambo, he's re-droning. He's saturating the space, and I think this is huge, to be honest. For him to take a fourth. Cyan, can he get his own fourth up and running? That's going to be the question. It's still so very close between these players. Do we have any Spore Crawlers? Do we have... Okay, so we have an Overseer with the main army. Dark Shrine just finished. DTs, if they go across the map, if they get into these mineral lines, DTs are going to do a lot of damage. It's a big if, though. It's a big ask. Dark Shrine just finished. Where are they? Again, like, there's so much potential for DT damage. But for now, just focusing on defending back at home. Oh, Vipers are on the way. Lambo is about to max out. These ETs, they feel a little bit late. There aren't that many of them either. And Vipers are the nail in the coffin. They completely shut down Disruptors. We have 6 Disruptors, but the era of the Disruptor is kind of coming and going. Lambo, over on the right-hand side, is getting caught out of position. Here we go. The DTs are waddling into that natural base. Detection is on the way. Big Nova is going to go up. Three of those Ravagers go down. A good start. But the Vipers are on the way up. Oh my god, there are so many Vipers. Yoinks are going to be coming in. They're going to deny the Disruptors. Yeah, the shots are not going to go off. At the same time, Biles are going to be connecting. We're pushing into these Archons. Still a bit of an efficient trade. Another Nova will connect with the Ravagers. Cyan, he is doing it. The Vipers were not enough. Oh god. As the Archons are getting picked off one after the other. Cyan actually focusing the Spire? I'm not too sure about that. The Spire will go down, but Cyan is running out of steam cells. They come in from behind. They get us around. They take down every single Ravager, and Cyan has done it. He brings it back, taking down Lambo 2-0. Oh my god. GG. When I saw the Vipers, I was so concerned, but the Vipers were not with the main army. We saw that they were kind of off to the side, and the initial abduction didn't do anything, by the way. And yeah, Cyan, he was just trading too efficiently. +3 really kicking in. He takes down Lambo 2-0, and he takes his first series, his first and only series of the Masters Coliseum. GG, well played. Very well played. And with that, what are the standings going to be looking like here? I am really curious, actually. So, Ryung and Lambo, they're going to be both 2-3. And as was mentioned earlier, Ryung will have better map score. So, I wonder if the Wikipedia page, was it done correctly? Is head-to-head more important? Is that how it works? So yeah, we have to piece that together. We are gonna have to piece that together as we can have a look at all the matches that were played out tonight. Lambo, Ryung, Cure, DRG, Cyan, Ryung as well, and so many others. 8 best of 3s, back to back to back to back, an intense night of StarCraft. A shout out to Asher Bro, because he did join me for the majority of the broadcast, so thank you so much. It's been a while since we casted together, so it was great to cast with Asher once again. And tomorrow, I'm going to be casting with him one more time here for the Masters Coliseum for the beginning of our next group. I believe coming up tomorrow is going to be Group C. So yeah, if you are interested in watching players like Solar, Hero Marine, Spirit, Ragnarok, Nightmare, and beyond, we got you covered. We got you covered tomorrow with some more Masters Coliseum in less than 24 hours. But before Masters Coliseum, we have another cast. Hopefully I'm going to be awake in time. Hopefully I won't be too fatigued, because tomorrow is KSL. The Korean StarCraft League is going to be starting up in 11 hours. Sorry, 10 hours and 30 minutes is KSL. So if you want some Korean StarCraft, we got you covered here on the CranKy Ducklings with the Korean StarCraft League. Got you covered. I am a little bit concerned. I'm probably going to have to nap after KSL to make sure that I'm well rested for Masters Coliseum. It's going to be a brutal weekend. It's going to be a brutal weekend here with all of these casts that we have coming up. But we'll do our best. We will do our best to bring you as much StarCraft as we can, as weekends are 2 casts a day, 2 tournaments a day, every single day. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Thank you so much everyone for watching. Shout out to Kura. Kura has been handling the production and has been allowing for the stream to go on here to be, again, for the most part, unhindered despite all the technical issues that we had today. Thank you so much, Kura. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. Oh. GG. And yeah, from here, we're going to be bidding you adieu. It is 2:30 a.m. in the morning in Australia. It's very, very late. Bed would be nice. Sleep would be amazing. So that's what we're going to be going for. If you want to tune in to more myself, I do stream throughout the week over on Light